Just wave and then you can mute yourself unless you're naked or something. Don't. Okay, Adam at least unmuted himself. You all right there, buddy? Okay, perfect. So he is living. Alex is in transit, so when she gets to her house, she'll be on.
I'm here. I'm here.
Perfect. All right.
I just have friends in the car, and so I was just muting myself.
Gotcha.
I'll be home in like 15 minutes.
Perfect. Okay. It's the circle of safety, guys. Shelby, since you're the one that got this thing started, do you want to take over and I'll work in the background? Don't you even tighten your lips.
Sure. Is it best if I just open a document and we all say things and I type on it because we have to turn in a typed thing, or does somebody else want to type? Or
I can type.
Love it.
Is everybody on the document that Nicole sent out?
Okay. I can be. And Nicole, were you the one that said that you would do that?
Yeah, I can type it.
Okay.
I think it might be easier if we just have maybe Nicole screen share.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Type, and then we'll just have one person typing at a time. I think that.
Okay, I'm trying to get you to be able to share the screen. I don't know if there's too many of us in here or not. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, I think you can, Nicole, see if you can get a hold of the screen now.
It says disabled screen sharing.
If Nicole, if you just type it in the document that Jan has screen shared, it will show up on our screen.
I got you.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Hopefully.
So do you want to come up with like 8 to 10 like words that
Perfect.
that we can start with? So, and then from each of those, probably, come up with a sentence or two that relates to that word.
Okay.
So these are like our quote unquote entry requirements, as Dr. Games said. So it's like, if we were going to induct somebody into the class of 2025, they have to, abide by this set of, I don't want to call them commandments, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah, we get the idea.
Respect, Nicole. That's the number one. Respect.
What about something like open-mindedness?
Yeah. I like growth.
I like growth.
What about like something like accountability, or like something about like showing up?
Completely agree. Accountability was my word. Thank you.
Trust.
Honesty.
Could we combine trust and honesty? If we need more, I feel like we can put that like separately, but I feel like those two go like hand in hand, right?
Empathy. I say wait until you're married. You might think differently.
Oh.
But like being great. Being great at what we do.
I said patience and understanding.
I like the patience.
Because look, let's be real. Right now, it seems like we're checking a box. And what I kind of visualized when we go into this assignment is maybe to share a little bit about what you've experienced this semester and what you liked about that and what you did not like about that. And from that, we could probably build a little bit more of this, because I know there have been tense times throughout the semester, because little cliques have formed, or maybe little, groups have formed, and we're all in this together, and so I am not a person to talk about people behind their back, and I refuse to be a part of that. So if I'm saying this to everyone, if you do this and I'm around, I will remove myself from that situation. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. And so I don't know how you word that in one word, but that has got to stop.
That
What
could almost
about-
be like
what-
integrity. G.
Yeah, I was about to say integrity. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But again, instead of checking a box here, getting real value out of this, what you've experienced this semester, because I'm sure you've had ups and downs, and I'm not talking about the class load, I'm talking about the people interactions that you've had. So for what it's worth, just, I feel like it should be an open forum right now, not necessarily start drama, but to squash it and to all rally together.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I haven't really heard anything like that this semester. At least for me, in my experience. I feel like overall, at least in my experience, we've been a pretty cohesive group. I haven't talked to some of you as much because there are some of you that I still think I haven't actually been in a group with.
I feel like one thing that has been frustrating for me this semester is like respecting other people's time. Like, I know like we're obviously all busy and stuff comes up, but I feel like I've been in groups multiple times where like maybe I only have an hour to meet and I have moved things around in my day to meet the other people's needs of my group. And when other people then are like 15-20 minutes late, I'm then having to move my day around even more, and I've already adjusted for that. And I know like we all have to, like, it's like ebbs and flows, like we all have to do it, but I feel like that's been something that's been really frustrating to me, is like I feel like, and I don't know if like everybody feels like this, but sometimes I feel like you guys look at graduate students and you're like, oh, you're a GA, so you can just move your stuff around. And I feel like sometimes like I'm always the one that's having to move stuff around and balance things out, and it's not always reciprocated. So that's something that I've like kind of struggled with, is just I feel like we're not respecting everybody's time all of the time.
I think that falls under accountability, but also dedication. Like, not dedication necessarily
No,
to the
that's
DAT, but to each other.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to add. It's to each other that we need to be dedicated.
And I mean, I'm with you. And Shelby, for what it's worth, I don't feel that way about GAs. I do realize that you guys are busting it just like all of us. It's not like any one person has a cake job. So
I've never heard that from anybody. It's just sometimes it feels like that's the way like it's perceived sometimes, like by the things that are like said back, like the conversation back and forth. Sometimes it's like, well, why don't you just move your stuff, kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say that. It's just like that's kind of how I feel.
What
at-
if we change open-mindedness or keep it, but what if we change it to change or add something about like mindset? Because I think a part of growth is us like shifting our thought processes and mindset and like reshaping how we view our perceptions of others and ourselves. So I think that would be like a value that we should discuss and add to this list.
Would we just add mindset to the end of growth? Like growth mindset type thing?
I
I think
agree.
it's getting at similar things, but I think
You
they're
can keep
kind of hash out
open-minded.
distinctive differences.
We could also add like purposefulness or like being purposeful with things. Like sometimes I feel like in a group setting, it might be like some people are just like wanting to get the assignment done and not be like purposeful about it. So like choosing something like easy to do rather than something that's actually going to like benefit us to like do and then be able to like apply to our clinical practice. So being like, so, and that's kind of like a growth mindset too of like the program is like, we're not just doing this to get a degree, we're doing this to like grow clinically and personally, or like professionally and personally. So being purposeful even in like a group project rather than just individually, if that makes sense.
No, perfect sense. I've been part of some things before where it was said that let's just do what's easy. And you know, what's easy might not be the best thing. So I'm all about, you know, making work easier for us, but at the same time, I see where you're coming from, Alex.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, because we can make it like purposeful, and then it's like actually more purposeful what we're spending our time on rather than just spending our time on something easy. It's like, okay, we have to spend this time anyways, so we might as well get something out of it rather than just a point for the assignment and a degree, you know?
Yeah, love all that. I think one other thing that jumps out at me in hearing, like, especially like Shelby's comment, too, is just like part of it is how do we, like, we're all gonna have weeks where like I've had weeks where I'm in a group and I feel like I don't pull my weight, and then all of a sudden at the end of the week I'm like, oh crap, I didn't do a good job on that one. And then I've had weeks where I felt like I've done a ton of work, and like maybe I have those brief moments where I'm like, man, why am I the one pulling the weight this week? You know, and it's kind of like, how do we, maybe the word is charity, right? Like when we're interacting with each other, just like if we're trying to create a circle of safety, like we've got to be able to give each other the benefit of the doubt that like we're all going through things and we're all trying, you know, like, and the more we can just be like, you know what, we've all engaged in this process. Let's trust in each other. Let's be charitable in that, like assuming the other person has the best intentions. And it just makes it easier on ourselves to not have to tell ourselves that story about what other people are thinking or feeling, you know? And that's kind of like, and that's hard, right? Like even in a workplace, we all experience feeling like other, and like even in Leaders Eat Last, right? Like they talk about like, as soon as you start having to feel like other people are more protective of their time, or like that's when like the culture spoils from within. So like we have to have that mindset of like giving each other the benefit of the doubt, I feel like too. So I think that probably falls under trust, but charity is the word that jumps out at me.
I
It could
feel like
also
that
be-
goes along with like accountability too, because I know like Matt, like way back in the beginning, was it the fall or the summer? Like we were in a group together for like those 3 weeks or whatever. And I feel like we kind of went back and forth, but we like had discussions of like, okay, you're working more this week, so like I pulled a little bit extra. Then like I feel like we need to have those conversations. Like you need to say like, hey, like, you know, I've like Nicole, she's like, I'm traveling for playoffs, like there's stuff going on, like just be open and honest about that. And also like if you're on the other end of that and like maybe Matt hasn't done anything this week. So instead of me reaching out to Matt and being like, yo, what's going on? Why haven't you done anything? I might just sit and do it. And that's not like correct. Like we need to hold each other accountable and like figure out what's going on. If you're not communicating it, like other group members need to reach out and see what's going on. And then if you're on the receiving end of that, of a text being like, yo, why haven't you done anything? Like, just know, like, that's back to like, I think the radical candor we talked about this summer, like being willing to receive that form of feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing because like, right, like then like if I'm asking for charity and then you text me and say like, hey Matt, you need to like get engaged on this, then I need to be able to give the charity back. Like you guys have my best intentions in mind. There's no ulterior motives here. Like we're all just trying to like fight towards whatever's best for us.
I put up the chat word and I so agree with Alex because I was thinking this too, spinning off what Matt said. It's grace with each other. You know, I lost the guy that was basically my second dad in the middle of the summer session, and that was hard. You know, it took me. He basically my whole adult life has been my dad, and yeah, it was. There were some times I wasn't as good as I should have been, and everyone picked up around me. So yeah, I like what Shelby's saying. Instead of attacking, let's ask before we indict.
It
Love
it
that.
seems to me that we are kind of going down this path of really like holding each other, structurally firm. And I like that, those parts, and of course the soft parts of grace and patience as well. But in the book it says, I thought the illustration, of course, in his description of this assignment, it says the Marines start out as individuals with and by the end of boot camp they are a team, and they have zero threats from within, only so they can focus on the threats from outside. So I think we really have done ups and downs about this, but encouraging is probably a thing that we do well. Actually, I think at different times people step up and say, hey, you got this, an encouraging word. Even when you don't necessarily want to hear it, like, oh, I don't want to hear this. I still haven't done my lesson plan 3, and I still haven't done this, and I still have, but that sense of safety, that there's not a threat from within this circle, so that we can focus on external threats, assignments, aka assignments. So encouraging, but also building a safe, I don't know how you would say that, like a safe, like I don't feel threatened. I don't feel like Jan is going to, attack me or say those things. It goes back to, like Shelby said, radical candor and all that stuff.
You just wait till you try to steal my cake pop.
I'm not a cake fan.
You just wait.
Not a cake fan, so it's all good.
Are any of these things that we could combine into one title? I know we have a few that are combined, but are any of the other ones combinable?
Maybe patience and understanding with empathy.
I think the patience, understanding, empathy, and the charity and grace all kind
Grace, yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think
Is there one word that sums all those up, or do we want to?
that's the question.
I mean, I'd say probably grace covers all of the above.
I
I
agree.
feel like.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if someone disagrees, please.
No, you got it.
Could we have like subset, like our title, and then like grace entails empathy and
Compassion
else
is another word that I just Googled too.
What was it? I missed it.
Compassion kind of
Yeah.
encapsulates
Wouldn't that
all
kind
of.
of be like hand in hand with grace though and empathy?
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
looking for something that.
go for it, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't want to start over combining things and kind of lose the goals we were going after. So I
Right.
think empathy and some of that compassion stuff is a little bit different from grace. Similar, but different.
Yeah, grace is great. Beans.
Allie, are you saying that we should make another bullet that is like compassion and empathy? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, because to me, I think grace is a little bit more about forgiveness, whereas empathy and compassion is more about understanding others' perspectives.
I think that was a good way to put that. And I think that's a good point.
Yeah, that is a really good point.
Mhm.
Can we add equity to this list? Like equity over equality? I feel like that's like a huge part of the program and ourselves. I feel like a lot of us like to put in the extra time for, you know, the people that need it, especially for the people that are here right now. Because it's a important part of athletic training, making sure that, you know, the ones that need that extra help, that need that extra time, get that help from us. So I think that's another important value that we should add.
Preach, brother.
I think maybe if we come up with like phrases that go with each word, that will help us kind of figure out if we need to like combine. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like, because if we just say respect, it's like, okay, who are we respecting? What are we respecting?
Okay, I've got you, girl. I'm just pulling up my notes. What others value and what's important to them. That's what we're respecting.
Yeah.
And respect each other even if we don't agree with each other.
Wait,
And
so what others value and what's important to them, you said?
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
even if we don't agree, we still respect the person. I hate the term agree to disagree. That's been used so contextually at me, at my spouse, at I just hate it. Like we don't have the right to exist, but something in that mindset that we're still, I don't think that your project may be the most important thing to me, but it is to you, and I will help you achieve your goal.
Adam, I'm waiting for you to drop some deep philosophical stuff on us right here.
He drops a lot of that in our chat, so let's hear it, Adam.
Yeah, I have a toothache today, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe like accountability to ourselves and our classmates.
That's all I was gonna say.
See,
Good job.
I feel like we could also add in there, I don't know how you would word this, so somebody who's better at words than me, but like, again, talking about like being able to receive, like when somebody is providing you that, I feel like we should use the words radical candor so they know we absorbed something from this summer. Like just like, and it can go in the accountability section, like I don't care where we put it, but just like saying that like I think we as a class need to do better at giving the radical candor out as well as receiving it. I sometimes am not great at receiving it. And I also sometimes am not great at giving it out. So I feel like we can hold each other and ourselves accountable in that way, in both of those ways. I feel like that can all go in one sentence. If somebody wants to phrase that better than whatever just came out of my mouth.
Okay, I think it sounded great, and I agree with everything you said.
We are all versed now about how to give good feedback, correct?
What about accountability partners? Would that be a way to sum that up, Shelby? That I right before we got on, I had somebody who I haven't talked to for a while ask how I was doing, and I respect what she says because she calls out my BS, and I hear the truth from her, and that's an important thing. But I also know that she cares about us, me, and that's important. Would that sum that up so it's a little shorter, or is that, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I just feel like radical candor specifically is something that we all can be better at.
Okay, so that's okay. So I can't, because I can't see everything that Nicole's typing, because I've tried to get as many of our faces in here as possible on the recording.
I mean, I agree with Shelby. I think radical candor is something that, like, I am hesitant sometimes to say how I feel about things because I'm afraid of upsetting people.
Retweet.
But I think that's kind of like the purpose of this assignment, is to create a space where we can give feedback to each other where we may not feel it may be receptive, but we're able to give it anyway because we know that it's coming from a good place and that we're just trying to push each other and grow together as a group. So I think that goes back to Shelby's point about being able to receive feedback that we may not want to hear in the moment, but finding a way to cope and deal with that feedback.
I mean, let's be real, we got everybody's best intention. Like, as long as we communicate, we're not against you. Like, I'm not against any one of you. This is not a competition to me. Like, this is me against me. And you know, as long as we communicate that and we go at it in a way that is safe and open-minded, like you've been saying, I mean that that we have each other's best intention. Like, we want you to grow, we want you to be the best, and it goes down to accountability, you know.
Yeah, and in order to be able to do that, like, we need to be able to trust each other and be honest with each other. So like, even if we just gotta like text each other, FaceTime each other, and provide that radical candor, if it's easier, like, maybe we should just start calling rather than texting, because a lot of times, whether it's a group chat or a text, we might see it or read it completely wrong.
Yeah, lost in translation.
Yeah. So maybe like that's something that we could all focus on too, is like a FaceTime. And then I'm like, hey, G, like, I think we should take the time to work on this together, rather than a text saying, G, you need to work on this.
Yeah.
And I may not have meant it. Sorry, I may not have meant it as that way, but I'm like actually saying like, hey, G, like, we should work on this. But maybe like, I'm a very big FaceTime person, so if you FaceTime me, I'm probably going to answer that more than a text.
Except your internet sucks.
No, I have internet now, guys. I have internet, everyone.
She wrote it on her calendar.
After 4 months, 5 months.
She wrote it on her calendar, so it got up there. So.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We've had some people who've been kind of quiet. What's going through your minds? I'm not going to call you out, but just talk.
And you should. We're practicing radical candor. See, we're too scared. We're too nice.
I'm just really bad with words, so I put a couple things in the chat.
I don't think I'm that nice.
Better at typing than talking.
Warren, you are nice. Don't lie.
I can confirm for Warren. Nah, he's all right. He's all right, guys. Don't listen.
I was gonna say, I didn't know if Nicole can, I don't know if you guys can see that I put the meeting chat up. But Nicole, we've got some things from Andrea here that might do well to be put into a couple of those line items. If you want to pull that up.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that Andrea implemented those other words that we kind of combined into Grace. into that statement. I forgot to mention that. I saw that was added and I enjoyed that.
Thanks, Haven.
I agree. You're way better at words than me.
It's only typing. I can't talk.
Hey, have more confidence in yourself.
So we have 11 items. We've got some people working on some things.
Yeah, I should share what I'm working on right now. Post as disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Can
I
you just
tried to let that not happen, but it would not let me. I think there's too many of us on.
Here,
Gigi, where you at?
I think for the growth mindset and purposeful, we could add in that one goal we just deleted, the trying to be the best versions of ourselves. I feel like that goes hand in hand with the growth mindset. Just trying our best to have that growth mindset and become the best version of ourselves.
I agree. I also think, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody in this class, but I can speak for me. I know putting like a growth mindset and like trying hard to not put so much pressure on myself to be perfect all the time is something that maybe I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but like giving ourselves a break when we need it, because we're not always going to be at our best. There we go. There's the rest of the words.
I started working in Canva, trying to put this into a little like presentable thing. That's what it looks like so far, but is everybody?
Looks really good.
Yeah, that does look really
For
good.
the amount of time that we've been spending on this looks really good. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, I'll just keep it, I'll keep taking those little quotes that we got so far and adding them into it.
You rock, Nick.
Hey, try.
So do we have any thoughts about empathy, compassion, integrity, dedication, safe space, encouraging, and equity?
I think for dedication, we said not only dedication to ourselves, but into the DAT, but dedication to each other, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I like that. Good job, Nicole.
Appreciate it.
Haven, can you expand on equity for me for a second?
Like, what does it mean?
What is your vision of that statement for us? I know what it means, but what are you why was that important to you, and how can we embrace that?
It kind of goes hand in hand to what we talked about earlier about how you don't really know what's going on with everyone else, even if they seem like everything's okay. Um, it kind of goes hand in hand with um kind of understanding and making sure, you know, they may be having a not so good day or week or month or whatever, and you just kind of willing to give them that extra time that they need to make sure they become the best possible versions of themselves. And I it's an important aspect of the program with like patient-centered care, you know, so I thought it kind of, you know, brought it all together.
So could we combine that potentially with like empathy and compassion?
Yeah, I think we definitely could.
Right.
I just don't want to, you know, put too much into one phrase. I don't want to like make it too complex. But if we can do that, that probably work.
I'm so thankful you expanded on that because I was thinking equity and care because, you know, one team gets more care than another, or one person gets more energy than another. I thank you so much for expounding
No
on your
problem.
idea. I appreciate that.
I kind of like what Andrea put in the chat about uh she said lift one another up through encouragement and creating a safe space for each other for all aspects of life, not only schoolwork.
Like that.
I think for integrity, we could say something along the lines of what G said earlier about um like not talking behind each other's backs, kind of making sure you are holding yourself in a respectable manner even when others aren't watching.
Yeah, I guess almost like holding ourselves to a higher standard. Is that kind of what you're getting at, Haven?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's been a long day. If anybody has any thoughts on how to phrase this,
You're doing okay.
I'm just trying to think it through. So if I start writing stuff that doesn't make sense, I'm just thinking out loud.
You could say doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's actually somewhere in the hallway, right in front of me.
Okay, yeah, we need to make sure everybody's part of this. So Warren, are you still with us? And I know I saw GGG was helping an athlete with some care. Is there anyone else who we need to get involved in this? We've had some quiet, pensive thoughts.
Use the bathroom.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, then that we really didn't need you.
Come on, take us with you, brother.
Yeah, I heard you asked. I heard you asked.
I did, huh? I did. Just we're trying.
Somebody did.
We're trying to make sure
Hey,
that get everybody's viewpoint.
Haven, with your equity deal, are we talking about like standing in the gap? Like basically, you know, some maybe struggling this week, you have to do remediation and you have to do, yada, yada. But standing in the gap with equity, being willing to cover differences that may not be. I'm not saying make excuses for anybody or anything like that, but
no, I understand
standing in the
saying.
gap.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way of putting it.
Could we say like maybe like stepping up for when others are in need?
Work as a team.
I think both of those are good ways of putting it.
I will say she's typing that. I had went during my problem this summer with my uncle who passed away. I had 3 people in this class stand up and they did a lot of work on the algorithm. And I appreciate them for that. So yeah, it's happening. We just have to define it.
Yeah, I think it's important to like acknowledge that a lot of us do engage in these actions as it is, and just kind of like you said, defining it into words.
I think we also have to be communicative and honest about when we're having that, because it's like what I tell my students. I'm like, I'm not a mind reader, I'm not great at like, guessing what's going on. So, you can be like, oh, they're not doing such and such because they don't care. And maybe that's not the case, but we're all so far removed. Like we have to also talk about what's going on.
I feel like that's almost like don't be afraid to ask for help.
Great word, because I was just about to say a known weakness of mine is to reach out. I am dead set on I will figure it out and I will do it, and whether it's been a group assignment or I've got 7 things due by midnight, I will get it done. And I am not the best at raising my hand and asking for that. Not because I am too proud, but because I don't want a burden. So plus it's my problem. That's the way I see it.
No, it's our problem. No man left behind. No man left behind.
Oh, we were going solid with the 10 commandments there, and then we had to add 11. I was about to break the rock,
I mean, we can have the 11 commandments.
This is our thing, the 11 commandments.
Oh my gosh.
Do we want to try to like sum up something, and we don't have to change anything, but add like accept each other's strengths and weaknesses, because it's easy to point out what other people do well, but maybe like accept each other when maybe we fall short, which I think we've hit on a couple times. That might help with some of the wording we were struggling with.
Add that to number 9. Like
I kind of like how Allie put that instead of the work as a team and step up when others are in need. I kind of like the way that Hallie phrased that more than that, in my opinion. I feel like that kind of entails the word equity more than the way that we put it earlier.
Allie, can you say that again?
Accept other strengths and weaknesses. I guess would be the summation of what I said.
By the way, have you guys figured out dictation on Microsoft Word?
Yeah.
I typed an entire reflection and paper driving on a 2-hour drive with my laptop sitting in the passenger seat with me just talking. Now I had to go back and edit the Google directions out because it'd say, in a 1/4 mile, turn left on Highway 483. And I was like, this mother. So I had to go back and delete all that. Hopefully I didn't turn that in Dr. Games as with directions of how to get to Pike County. So
You have to put like a setting on so that it picks up your southern accent.
yeah. Oh no. Hey, you know
It's
what?
not like a separate, it's like an add-on. It's like $9.99. You got to pay extra download.
Well, it learns me, but Siri still doesn't get me, you know. So me and her got some conflicts, but Google's okay, Google.
Yeah, I think Hallie's point of accepting our strengths and weaknesses is important. Like, I know for me, like, one of my strengths is I kind of have to be organized or like my life falls apart. I'm going to view that as a strength. I'm not sure it is. I'm going to go ahead and view it that way for right now. But at the same time, like, one of the weaknesses is that if it doesn't go exactly the plan, like, I'm going to be super stressed out.
Fair enough.
Like, I think acknowledging it, and also like if you're like in like one of those like long-term groups, kind of like the assignment we had, like being willing to share what you perceive your strengths and weaknesses are, and then being able to talk to your group and see if that's actually what your strengths and weaknesses are at the same time.
Yeah, when Dr. E put that perfect match thing, I was like, I don't know enough about people to know who I match with. Like, who is this strength and this weakness? So that's a good point. Being able to share that throughout. Gigi, where are you at?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask that too. Because I was getting ready to say, because we're at such a disadvantage because we weren't at camp. So we don't know any of you really. Gigi, you with us?
You're on mute. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is.
All right, I'm at work, y'all, so I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Stuff. So I've listened to everything that you guys said. I wanted to add a few words to that. Yeah, we weren't at Camp Jan. You know, I kind of feel disadvantaged because, you know, there's a lot of references to camp, and I'm just like, I have no clue. So, you know, there's one thing that I know, which I need to do because none of y'all know me. And, you know, oftentimes I do have to apologize because I can be short and I can have an attitude because I've been in this game a long time and there's a lot of frustrations, especially with scheduling and group projects and all of that stuff. There's a lot of time constraints, and, you know, sometimes I got to get up at 5 for a group meeting or something like that. And I'm super quiet. Doesn't mean that I'm mad. I'm just, you know, I'm not a morning person, but then I have, you know, that starts off my day, and the days turn into be 14-hour days, and it's kind of, you know, hectic. But sometimes we gotta learn how to fix our face and put our game face on, and drop the attitude and just be a team. I don't think any of us like group projects. I don't think we do. We got to do them. We've had to do them since undergrad, masters, now into the doctorate. We're still doing them. So, you know, the attitudes, you know, we don't really know each other. So it's very difficult, you know, trying to form it. Well, people, that's just a natural thing, forming an opinion of people. But, you know, like the book says, my brother's a Marine, and he always talks about the principle that they learn, how to be protective. You got to be protective over your group. You've got to be, communication is key. Text is good and all that. That's the new thing, but sometimes you need to pick up that phone and communicate to see if something's wrong. I mean, that might be my generation, but still you got to check in with each other, because we do need to be protective of each other. We're not our competition. We're allies in this, and we need to make sure that everybody gets across this finish line. Like I was about to drop a couple weeks ago, and I did not. You know, I'm glad that I reached out to who I reached out to, because I'm still here. You know, life happens. There's a lot of life that happens, but sometimes we need to fix our face, check our attitude at the door, and become a team. Teamwork does make the dream work. Because if you're not a team, we can't be protective of each other. Marines don't turn their backs, they have an attitude, or so-and-so said something about so-and-so, you know, squash it, leave it at the door, and get on with it. Okay, that's what we got to do with these group projects. That's what we got to do with everything that we have to do. Leave your shit at the door and get on with it. We have to be protective of each other, our minds. It's stressful. We have to do all of that. So sorry I'm saying so much, but I wanted to talk earlier, but I had, you know, all these kids that come in. But communication is key, people. It's a life lesson. It's key. It does not go away. Learning how to effectively communicate and not offend. I mean, that can be something that can be acquired and worked on, but communication is key. You know, sometimes I have to turn the chat off for some mental clarity, because sometimes it can get a lot. Some of us have more on our plates than others, but it doesn't matter. We have stuff on our plates, so we have to be supportive, and kind words time to time will help. Check the attitudes, and let's just, you know, like we said, be encouraging, because that's being accountable to ourselves, is doing that. So, you know, like I said, lifelong lesson. I've been in this game for a very, 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 very long time, and I've learned a lot from downfalls and not being respected, not having communication, and people judging me and not even before they know me. And it's kind of sad, but you know, you kind of go through those things and you learn. So we do need to be protective over each other. We really do. That's what Marines do. That's what we need to do. That circle of safety. That's what they do. Our heads are out, you know, and our our backs are together, but we're all focused. We're seeing everything. I might not see something in this corner. Jan might see something. Ellie might see something that I don't see. And we all have to communicate to be protective. Okay. And we can be protective in many different ways. So, you know, that's what we need to do. All right.
Did anyone else get goosebumps?
I did. And it took me to a comment from someone who had been at the Pentagon when it was hit by the plane on 9/11, and there was a small group of Marines who evacuated the toddlers, and they moved the cribs. How these men got all these kids wrangled, and they put them in the middle, and they backs were to the circle. The kids were all in the cribs. They were all safe, and no one was touching those kids. And that is exactly the vision I had while G was talking. I mean, they were safe in a horrible situation. And I know sometimes this feels like a horrible situation. We're being challenged a lot, but not to that extent, certainly.
I have to say, I kind of like that as a new mantra, fix your face.
Yeah, I agree.
Matt.
Check the attitude and fix your face. I like it.
Got that RBF.
What?
I'll put that on top of my on top of the little thing.
Matt in parentheses.
Well, that's the thing. Like sometimes, like especially when I'm at work and I'm just like so done. Like I feel like I always have this RBF, and like I have to like actually like Gigi said, fix my face.
Just my thinking.
Matt, one
Kaylin.
time I accidentally screenshot us in Zoom, and this was Matt's face.
Showed him.
Oh, I don't know. I have eyebrows.
It was so funny. I loved it. I was like, first of all, I don't know why I had this screenshot, but then I zoomed and I go, Matt, you good?
No, because the first group work I did with Matt, I literally told him, I literally said, I can't tell if I'm stupid or because the face you're making, I can't look at it.
It's not a good quality in a group mate to be like, oh, you know what I'm good at is I make my other group members feel stupid because I have a judgmental face. It's just my face. I don't know what to
I
tell you.
still picked you on my on my perfect match even after that face.
I like everyone's like when we're working on group work and we're on Zoom or whatever, and it's like you're not really looking at the screen, but your camera's on, like everyone's like thinking face. I don't know. I think that's comical. It always brightens my day to see other people
Yeah.
thinking face.
Typically, I'm just kind of dumbfounded and I just kind of roll with it. Also, Warren, were you saying something?
No.
No, you weren't saying something. I thought I heard you talk.
Yeah. I've got a student with me. He's actually a master student at ISU, so he's experiencing this with us.
Yeah.
Having forward thinking, somebody start compiling an album of those so we can do a slideshow when we wear those funny little hats at the end.
All right, let me share what I got so far.
Wait, Adam, do you have any thoughts? You haven't said anything really before we move to what Nick made.
Well, I said I had toothache today.
Give us a speech, Adam.
Well,
Just say anything.
no, I think it's good to be quiet for a while, you know.
You can type it.
No, I wasn't gonna talk about what you just talked about. So I've been thinking about like saying that by Mark Twain. So don't let schooling get in the way of your education. So that's what I've been thinking these days. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably not one of the values that we need to put in there, but it's like for me personally, I've been in school for a very long time, so maybe longer than all of you as a student, right? So I think the whole thing seems like a professional work for me because professional student, so like more than 10 years in school. And so and then so I personally I usually take education very seriously, but also I try not to let schooling like really determine what I want to do. So I think for being students, I think it's a good mindset to I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying, so it's maybe only applies to me, but
No.
but since we're all doing doctoral programs, so I think it might be an opportunity to free your mind. I mean that sounds like a good value actually. Free your mind, right? I mean just because they're teaching the stuff doesn't mean we have to believe in that. And then we all need to find our own, our own path, right? So like our own visions, right? Using the
I'll get
word
Adam.
that.
Yeah. I like it. I mean,
Adam, go ahead.
it's kind of what we talk about all the time. Like they always talk about how they're trying to change this into like a transformational form of education. Like even if you fail the assignment, maybe you still learn something from the assignment. So did you really fail that assignment? Or did you just get a failing grade?
No, I've been saying for a while, what can I get out of this? So I think that kind of has to do with what you're saying there, Adam, is what's in this for me, and not necessarily in a selfish way, but how's this going to grow me, and change me or not change me, or, make me hold to what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you had a nugget there. I knew you had a freaking nugget right there. Thank you, Adam. I was trying to find the mind blown emoji.
Yeah, that.
Alex, you've been quiet. What's on your mind?
Sorry, I spoke earlier. I mean, I like agree with everybody, but I guess I thought, yeah.
I don't know, you pop a
I'm just
few. you
listening.
pop-
I'm like absorbing and listening.
No, it's okay. No, because I mean, Adam, took it all in too, and you usually have a great way to distill things. That's why I thought I'd ask.
Oh, well, thank you.
So Jan, if you scroll down to the next page and put a picture on there that everybody can see. If you want to make it big, you can too.
So you'll want to go like Control Plus, Jim.
I have a thought.
Yes.
This is very
Please.
nitpicky. What if we take the numbers off of it? So that it doesn't look like they're like ranked. You know, because they're all equally important.
More so like a bulleted list.
Just not even anything like on that left-hand side, like just leave like the little thingy with the little picture thingy, and then just leave no thingy on the left side of the thingy.
You heard that. Take the thingies.
I got it
I
here.
like that idea,
Here-
Shelby. That's a good idea.
Honestly, I think that was the best thought I've ever had.
It would
And I-
clean the thingy up for sure.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
flawless.
we all understood it, so
I get it.
That's the
100
problem. That's the
100%.
problem. That you all knew what I was trying to say.
Effective communication.
I don't think that's a problem.
You are the queen of all of this. And I'm going to move this up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Scroll back down.
My bad.
edited it.
Sorry.
I edited it.
It's just the thingy can be the thingy.
Oh,
look
God,
at that
how did you
thingy.
get rid of those so fast? What the heck?
He said, do it, and I did it.
Dang.
You gotta be
Dang,
AI
Nick.
or something. You gotta
Look
be
at
AI.
that thingy.
I'm just using Canva.
You gotta center the thingies.
I was
Acceptance
just gonna
is-
say acceptance is not centered.
and neither is the thingy
No,
above
I know
acceptance.
none of it is centered or spaced correctly. This is just you need to read them and make sure that like the little image goes well and all of them say what we want it to say.
It
Check
looks
all
great
this
to me.
radical candor going on right now.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys been making a Canva thing for the last hour, and everyone's coming in with critiques.
Love it. I'll take it
Can,
all.
can every
Nick's over here
Like
wiping
better.
sweat off his forehead.
I'm like, give my guy a break. Come on.
He's bleeding from his fingertips, guys.
Oh
Give him
my
a break.
gosh.
Nick,
Is-
I think you did great. I do
I
think we need
agree.
to fix it being centered, but
I will center everything. I'll make it a little bit bigger. I will put check your face underneath the circle of safety at the top.
Make sure you include Matt's face on that one.
I will.
Change
That
your
instead
face,
of a bullet.
Matt.
I do
Change
not
your
I
face.
think I just got a picture of Matt's face
Here.
to put on there. So
Matt, would it make it feel better if I sent that video that makes you laugh of me using the pitchback? Would that make you feel better?
I still watch that to cheer myself up every once in a while, Haven.
I also enjoy that video. It did make me happy the other day.
Wait, hold up. We gotta put the DAT logo on here too.
Oh,
do
good.
we?
You know,
Yeah.
branded
Better.
class of 2025.
Brandy.
By God, you better.
All right, I will.
Brand it with class of 2025.
yeah, we can have our own DAT logo.
Can we please put Matt's picture in there?
That's our DAT
In the
logo
group
is
chat.
Matt's
It's already
face.
in there.
It's also pinned as the new group photo in case everybody wants to look at it all the time.
That's awesome.
All right, but font and everything looks okay and
Yeah.
cool.
I have another thought. You could, now that you took the one thingy on the left off, you could alternate the pictures like every other. So like
I
right,
like
left,
that.
so that fills
Yeah.
up the whole space a little better.
Sure do like that. Thank you for that.
So while Nick is doing all of this hard work, do we have a motto that we could adopt? Looking at all of this.
The one to beat is check your face.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, wait, was it? I thought it was check your attitude. Fix
Check your
face.
yes, check your attitude, fix your face.
Okay, there we go.
I
I
kind
like
of like
it.
it.
I like it. It'd be a good shirt. Wear that out on the town on a Friday night.
Let's make shirts.
DAT weekend.
Yeah.
Send them to my house. I'll hold them in my apartment, and we can all wear them to Charlie's.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, what would Ellie do as one of the mottos, because that was something that came up in a couple of our groups.
No.
There's nothing worse than when Ellie's like, "Hey, have you looked at this assignment that's due like next week?" I'm like, "No, I haven't even thought about that assignment yet." And Ellie's like, Ellie's got like
Ellie's
detailed
catching strays.
questions.
Every Monday morning, I'm like, I literally can't even help you. Hit me up on Saturday, then maybe we can talk about it.
Okay, so
Oh.
speaking of assignments,
Oh God, no.
not that you have to use this, but does everybody have access to my assignment spreadsheet that wants access to my assignment spreadsheet? That has everything that's due in the long-term assignments at the bottom.
I don't know if I have access to that.
I
But
think it's
do
in the
want
group chat, but it's way the hell up there.
Yeah, it's way the hell up in the group chat. So
I actually found how you can go to it though if you've opened it. If you go into like your ISU Outlook and go to OneDrive, if you've opened it once, it should be in there as something you've accessed previously. So
I can also reshare it with all of you if you want.
Yes, please.
or that's probably easier.
Ellie will have it done by Wednesday, so.
God love you, Ellie.
Guys.
No, you keep us all on track.
You have to
I'm like, hey, how
compliment
y'all
Ellie.
doing on your measurement implementation plan?
Stop it right now.
The fuck? What is that?
Ellie,
Ellie's
we
done.
can still vote you out of this cohort. We will vote you out.
Brian, don't say that. We both did things for that last week.
Guys, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm just keeping you guys in line. That's
Hey,
all.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Radical
Ellie, we're
candor.
not going to vote you off the island. It's okay.
No.
Not yet.
No, but if this was a game of Survivor, you're gone.
No, this is a game of keep the platoon together. Is there anything else that we need to address, guys? Have we accomplished our goals that we needed to do for this meeting?
I mean,
I've been fighting the urge to call this a sea bear circle for the last hour. And so
Oh,
I just
what?
A what?
like from SpongeBob. I
I
knew
knew
one.
exactly what you were talking about.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about.
I have been fighting the urge to call this a sea bear circle for an hour, and I just wanted you guys to all be proud of me that I waited an hour and 11 minutes to say it.
I am proud of you.
If you don't know what a sea bear circle is, you need to look up on YouTube the episode of SpongeBob with the sea bear circle, and it'll all make a lot more sense because that's exactly what we're doing right now.
you're aging us, Shelby.
I have no idea what a sea bear circle is, but
Well, you're too old. Though.
You got to look it up.
I mean, I would not disagree with that.
I'll send the link in the group chat now because you all have to understand. It'll make everything make so much more sense.
It's true. You have to watch the episode to really understand.
It's definitely one of the more iconic ones.
Jan, you asked, is there anything we're missing? And I think, you know, just the actual agreement that we are going to do this. This is not just a check in a box. This is actually a real thing. So, I take it serious, and you know, I know I've been loving the, you know, the laughs and talks that we've had, but I mean, I take this pretty serious. You know, if we've spent this time on it and your time, and we took time out of, you know, everybody's schedule and, you know, everything going on, that this is pretty serious to me. So, you know, commitment to it is I'm serious about that. So
Yeah. Do we want to put all of our names on it?
I think if we were sitting in a room together, we'd sign the declaration together.
Contract.
I believe that, Nick. Yeah.
Do we need to do a blood oath?
Hell yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
Everyone put your thumbprints on it.
Hell yeah.
Do a little John Wick.
Like,
We could
Yep.
do a
So
tequila
everybody
or
turn
a
on your
shot
camera.
of at
Everybody-
DAT weekend.
We can turn off this sharing. Everybody turn on our camera, and we all just gotta like high five our camera at the same time.
Well, do you want me to stop the share? Are we good with that for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So Adam and GGG.
Yeah, do we want to right hand up? Or
I mean,
left
we're
hand
not
up?
swearing in,
Other
but
hand on your
Renee,
arm?
We could do the Hunger Games.
Which
Fine.
hand? This hand? Okay.
This hand.
I have to be very careful right now because my girlfriend's sitting right over there. And so whatever I'm dedicating to y'all, I gotta just make sure that, I'm following up on those things with her as well. So
Feels a little fascist. I'm not really sure what's going on.
We're just high-fiving the camera.
We're high-fiving the camera.
As soon as Gigi is ready.
I'm gonna put my hand down.
How do you get an emoji that moves, Zoe? How does that happen?
How did you get that?
I don't know. I just had my thumb up and then it like read
Showed
my
up. Okay.
I think it's under reactions. You have to like select recognized hand gestures.
Who has time to go through all that stuff?
I see you can clap, have a thumbs up. I don't see a recognized hand gesture. I do see a raised hand.
oh, there's a raised bing.
Oh, how does Warren have the fancy glasses on?
Dang. That guy is so cool, guys.
This guy.
I want to be just like him.
Nice. So I thought I saw her dart out quickly. Does anyone have anything else while we're waiting for GGG to get back?
So Jan, are you just gonna upload this on YouTube then?
I will. What I'll do is it's gonna process for about probably an hour here, and then I'll wait till I get home because YouTube doesn't work here at school. So it'll probably be about 2:00 in the morning before anybody can see what we've done. So I don't know if you need to finish any edits up. I know Nick has been busting chops, and Nicole, you have too. So thank you for doing that for all of us.
Hi, so sorry to interrupt, but Gigi is currently with paramedics and will not be on the camera.
Yeah, I figured as much. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Hey, Jan, have you ever uploaded anything over 30 minutes to YouTube?
I think we have to some stuff.
Was that our podcast that we did? What I'm getting at is
yes.
if you hadn't uploaded anything over 30 minutes, it's gonna make you like jump through hoops and
Yeah, you'll just have to verify your account. It's
right.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all
I
right.
just know I can't do it here. I can't
Yeah.
do anything here. So does anyone have any last things before we high five the camera and commit ourselves to this?
Nope. See you all in a month.
So I got Jan, Nick, Warren, Ellie, Hallie, Tara, Matthew, G, Nicole, Kaylin, Shelby, Alex, Zoe, Andrea, Haven, Adam, Gigi. Everybody hear their name?
Yeah.
Did you say Nick?
High five the camera.
That's horrible.
All right. Guys,
Go
thank you
Chunga.
so much for making this happen, and we'll see y'all in 30 days.
Yep.
Yeah. Less than
Good
a
job,
month.
everyone.
Yeah, less than that.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye,
Peace out.
y'all.
Bye.